Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Pages to Pixels, where we talk about new movies or shows every week. I'm Rohan, and today we are joined by a special guest, Carlos, because we're going to be discussing the new Fantastic Four, um, which this is the first. This is the. It's the third. No, this is the fourth version of the Fantastic Four, if you
Yeah,
count.
technically it is the fourth.
Yeah, if you count that one, I don't know, was it straight to DVD or was it never released? I don't know the lore behind it. Uh, but
Yeah,
there
honestly,
was yeah, there was that one. There was a one in the 2000s. There was 2015, I believe, where people call it Fan Four Stick because of the way the way it was written. And
right.
then they've all been kind of, I mean, putting it lightly, they've all been kind of bad.
I mean, I've seen a lot of mixed stuff about them. Oh, by the way, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh yeah, of
But,
course. Thank you for joining.
but yeah, I think well, this one would technically, correct me if I'm wrong, be the fourth overall live-action Fantastic Four movie.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I've seen so many different things, so many mixed reactions on all of them. I think the 2000s ones were pretty campy,
Yeah.
versus the 2015 one, which no one wants to talk about. So
I didn't even end up watching it, full
you're
disclosure.
right. So there was a lot of big shoes to fill for this one, right? I mean, expectations were definitely high, especially considering this is the first MCU Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Um, you also need to consider John Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness. That's also
Oh yeah, the
something else you want
ultimate
to
fan
compare it to,
cast.
right? Exactly. So, people wanted that to be the main guy for Reed, and not too happy with
Pedro
his
Pascal.
fate. No, actually, I
Oh,
love
okay.
Pedro Pascal. I was gonna say I'm
Right.
not too happy with John Krasinski's fate in that movie.
Yeah.
So, so that's I think that's all the Fantastic Four content we've gotten. Oh, Chris Evans and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. I don't see. I don't count those because they're like the
Yeah,
characters appearing versus actual Fantastic Four movies.
right.
Yeah. And especially with Chris Evans because it was the whole joke is like you think he's Captain America, and then he says "Flame on," and it's like, oh no, he's Johnny,
And then it's this big
Johnny
hype
Storm.
moment, exactly.
Yeah. But we finally got this new one, and as you said, we're finally in the MCU, and expectations were kind of high. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how much I was looking forward to this movie because lately Marvel's been kind of eh. The
Right.
trailers looked they looked decent, but I didn't love them.
Yeah, I'd
Um,
have to agree about the trailers. Actually, I remember the first time watching the trailer, and it was this big moment. Like, I think I saw it, the big announcement, right? And you see the first Fantastic Four trailer, and it's like, oh, cool, we're finally getting Fantastic Four. But you're right, that gravity of it just didn't
right.
ever set with me. It was just like, oh boy, now we're getting another MCU character. Like, great, do more MCU for a franchise that used to be owned by Fox. Like, were they owned by
Yeah,
Fox? Right? Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
So we'll get this before X-Men. We'll see how it goes, I guess. But that's kind of the mentality I went with it. Like, I guess we'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest. I like this movie quite a bit.
Yeah, I love this movie actually.
Yeah. I guess I guess I'll start with the first things that I really liked about this movie. I really like the cast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think everyone is fantastic. I know that there's no pun
Fantastic.
intended. um, but it's like, I guess we can break it down. Reed, Richard, played by Pedro Pascal, which I know that, and I know Kevin, our other co-host, is getting a little tired of Pedro Pascal. Me, I will never get tired of him. Uh,
I I would agree, and I would say I think the fact that he's in so many different projects, while some people might find it annoying, I think it's a really big testament on how good he is and how much people want to work with him.
Yeah. I also think that he's very different in every single thing he's in. I mean,
Right.
if you just look at this summer, I did not watch Eddington, so I can't really comment on that. But I did
Yeah.
watch The Last of Us. I did watch Materialist. And obviously I watched Fantastic Four. And he's not, he's not like Ryan Reynolds, where he's kind of the same guy in every movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he is Joel in The Last of Us is very different than uh, whatever his name was in Materialist, and very different than Reed in Fantastic Four. Um,
Yeah, I would agree. And actually, I mean, I know we were talking about the movie, but let's just keep talking about Pedro a little bit more.
yeah.
Um, Wild Robot probably was one of my favorite performances of him. As
Oh
I
yeah,
can't
he
remember
played
the
the
name of
fox.
he played the fox exactly, and he had this like super cunning like this is what a fox would probably behave like, if he was able to talk, right? In this situation. I think even that surprised me where I think that was the only time where I actually didn't even know it was Pedro Pascal until I saw the movie and I saw the cast
Yeah,
and was like, oh wait, that was Pedro Pascal, no way. So he definitely brings something unique in any single role he's in, and I think that's what's great about him. Like you said, Joel is Joel, Reed is Reed, the fox is the fox. Right?
yep,
He's very good and very talented in what he brings, and I think that's one of the reasons I was excited for his portrayal of Reed in this movie.
yeah. Now, you mentioned one thing that you really liked about Reed versus compared to I can't remember the name of the actor who played him in the past. Not Miles Teller, the other guy, because I've been
Yeah, I
seeing
can't remember
people.
his name either.
Yeah, I've been seeing people say that he was the better version of Reed Richards,
I
but
think there's a I think there's a general consensus that people are what or the chatter I've seen online where again I'm blanking on the name of the previous actor, but in the 2000s movies that definitely showcased the stretchy powers a bit
yeah,
better. While in this one, the stretchy powers, while it was there, that wasn't a big focus on his character. He would do it occasionally, even during the big fight scenes. Like
yeah,
he would do it when necessary, but he wasn't using it like offensively, I guess. Like there was no
yeah.
like wrapping himself around Galactus's legs or anything,
Hmm.
or we see him climbing in a very realistic way, as realistic as you can get, I guess. But he's stretching to grab like the different like support beams and doing all this cool stuff, and even like some scenes in the when they were in space in the ship, like he was just extending out to grab a lever, and I like those portrayals of his powers personally. But what I enjoyed the most about Pedro's portrayal of Reed is they really focus on his intelligence. Like that was his
I
defining
agree.
characteristic. I think that was basically his superpower was his
Hmm.
intellect.
Yeah,
And
and no, go ahead.
I mean that's coming from a movie where every single character felt smart, right?
Yeah,
Like in a group of small people, this is like believably the smartest person. The way he,
I do agree. I feel like everyone was just that's one of the things that didn't work for me, especially when looking back on the 2000s version. I think that one, Reed Richards did not give off the vibe of this is the smartest man on the planet. Um, and even everyone else, they just seemed like normal people. The thing was like the thing he was kind of like the dumb guy with comedic relief.
yeah,
Um, when in reality, all of these characters are scientists, and not only are they just they're not even like average scientists. Like they're amongst the best of the best. And then even Rita's he stands on top. I mean in the Marvel, even in the comics, I believe he's the smartest man. He's more than Tony Stark, more than
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. In the comics, it's always like here's the top three smartest people, and it's always a mix up between Reed, Tony, and Hank Pym. I think
Yeah.
Peter Parker recently is amongst those that conversation now, but in the past MCU movies, I didn't really get that from Tony. I mean, I buy that he's really smart. I
Oh
mean, he was
yeah.
able to create all this like cool stuff, right? but he also had that attitude towards him, which was
Yeah.
probably the most charming part about the character. And then you have Hank, who you don't really get to showcase much of anything. Michael
Yeah.
Douglas, while a great actor, I don't think that was kind of a well-suited role for him, or didn't really portray the intelligence all that well. But with Reed in this movie, I mean, there's one line that sticks out to me in particular that he said that's probably my favorite line in the movie, and it's when he's having this argument with Sue back in their room after they're trying to come up with a plan, and he says to her, I have to think of every bad outcome first so I can think of a way to fix it. Something along those lines, right? And it
Yeah.
just shows he's wrestling with this intellect. He's wrestling with his own like intelligence, thinking, why did I think of the worst possible outcome? But I kind of have to
Right.
because that's how I end up being the problem solver.
Yeah, and again, I love that line, and not just that line. I mean, I think they really captured who Reed Richards is supposed to be through the dialogue, and then of course,
Yeah,
Pedro's performance. Uh,
exactly.
yeah,
I also
and
really
then
liked. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I also really liked in this movie a lot of a lot of times when you have a smart character when you're trying to figure out something like the scientific like how do I explain this, it's all
Right.
like jibber jabber like gibberish like I'll take your word for it that you know what that is. I don't know what that means. I actually think this movie did a really good job at kind of explaining it in a way that didn't feel like just jargon,
Yep.
like Reed's explaining how he's teleporting the egg through the or teleporting the egg, right, and how he's going to teleport the earth. It didn't seem like it was just random mumbo jumbo. It actually felt like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, this is actually pretty easy to follow. I understand what he's trying to do.
Yeah, and they didn't spend time trying to be like, oh, trying to have like, they didn't have Johnny be like, oh, how'd you do that? And then Reed, as you say, go into this big explanation. It's
Well, I
like,
did it
okay,
like
one to two,
this.
yeah, one to two sentences real quick, and it's like, all right, we got it. As the audience, we don't need to know exactly how
Right.
it works. We just need to know that it's convincing enough to. We just need to know that it works in the world. It doesn't suspend. We don't have to suspend our disbelief too much. Which, at the end of the day, this is a movie about um, a giant alien who wants to eat planet Earth. So, Reed inventing teleportation is not anywhere getting there. We
Yeah.
just need to know that yeah, he's super smart, and so are the others around him. But even they get impressed at how smart he is.
Yeah.
Uh, Now I want to talk about Sue Storm real quick, played by Vanessa Kirby, because I feel like she and Reed are the two biggest focuses. I know it's Fantastic Four, but it really is,
The Fantastic Two.
yeah, or the dynamic
Yeah.
duo of Reed and Sue.
Yeah. I loved Sue in this
She
movie,
was great.
man. She was amazing. She was so down to earth. She had that very caring motherly vibe that obviously was, you know, kind of the plot point in the movie, right? She's a
Right.
expecting mother, but even like for the few minutes in the movie where she wasn't pregnant, she just felt like the kind of heart and soul of the team,
Mm-hmm.
where she just gave off that energy, like that motherly energy, that caregiver, that central point. Like I really enjoyed her, and I loved her chemistry with not just Reed. Like I mean, Vanessa and Pedro, they played a very convincing married couple.
Oh yeah.
But even the moments with the other cast members, with Johnny, with the Thing, I did enjoy it. I don't really think she had many moments with the Thing. Now that I think about it,
I don't think she
um,
did either.
which I wish I saw more. But even then, like it's very obvious that everyone in the group, they loved each other, they loved her. Um, yeah, she just brought a really great energy to the movie.
Yeah. And she was also like, not only was she a scientist, she was also in the UN. She's like brokering peace
Yeah,
deals and stuff like that, which kind of carries on to the motherly, the motherly nature that they're showing where she is nurturing, because it isn't just about like, okay, yeah, she has a kid. She is also literally working um to bring about world peace. And I really love that. I also really love that uh sorry. I also really love that her character, which expands to all of them, is that these superheroes are not, they, when they're not fighting like crime or using their superpowers, they're still trying to figure out ways to change the world for
Yeah.
the better. You know, like, don't get me wrong, I love Superman, but at the end of the day, he's Clark Kent, and he's just writing puff pieces about Superman.
Right.
Peter Parker is like, he is of course saving the world as Spider-Man, but then he is he's just taking pictures of Spider-Man for
Right.
his day job. I love that with the Fantastic Four, they were like, no, we're gonna actually help change the world, even when we are not costumed up using our powers. We are still helping the world.
Yeah. They felt a lot more. So I think here's the thing that is very common in, I want to say Marvel specifically, that their heroes, they're almost celebrities, right? They feel
Yep.
like celebrities. You have Tony Stark, who's this, famous billionaire, Elon Musk-esque type of like inventor slash like scientist, where everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows that he's Iron Man, but everyone also, he's the playboy,
Yeah.
billionaire, playboy philanthropist, all that, right? You have Cap, who like the goody two shoes. Like, I mean, I don't want to say that in an insulting way, but you'll go out on the streets, you
He's
recognize
a Boy
Cap.
Scout.
Yeah, exactly. But then the Fantastic Four, while they in this movie, while they did have that celebrity status, they really did feel like the philanthropist to me.
Yeah.
Like like exactly how you said, with Sue being a representative in the UN, Reed kind of being the face of the Future Foundation, even Johnny and Ben, like they're still really well known figureheads like within that community. They really did feel like these aren't just heroes, like they have day jobs.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned your one of your favorite lines with Rita. I'm going to mention one of my favorite lines with Sue, and that's when she's addressing the crowd after finding out that Galactus wants her baby in order to, uh, like, basically, if they give Galactus the baby, then he will spare Earth. And I love the moment where she says, "I will not sacrifice my baby for this world, but I also will not sacrifice this world for my baby, because we
Yeah,
are going to find a solution out of this." And that's not just show. And in that moment, you're like, okay, this is why she brokers the peace deals. She's actually like
exactly.
good at this stuff. It's not just telling you that, oh, she has this position and she did this. They do that, but
Right.
then they also back it up later.
No, I agree. I think that was a very powerful scene, and you're right. Her talents as this like figurehead is very like well shown in that moment.
All right. They didn't get much of a showcase. I think we can just talk about them at the same time. Let's talk real quick about Johnny, aka Human Torch, and Ben, aka the Thing. What'd you think
Uh,
of
the
them?
fun, the fun uncles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So I'll start with Johnny. Right. What was the actor's name?
Joseph
What
Quinn.
Yeah, Joseph Quinn. I've actually never seen any project of him before, at least not to my knowledge. Um, but I
He's
was
from
blown away
Stranger
by this.
Things.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
I was blown away by his performance.
he was great.
I was going off about, Reed's intelligence. Johnny's intelligence was kind of surprising and kind of
Yeah,
the reason we kind of like beat the conflict, right? I mean, him
yeah,
taking the time to decipher the messages left by Silver Surfer, while Reed is handling the situation, handling, about to become a father. Like, you see him kind of take a step up, right? And I really enjoyed that. Obviously, he had some very funny moments. him supposed to be like the ladies' man,
Yeah.
the cocky, super confident, like dude. But I actually really did enjoy that he had that vibe, but that didn't downplay his intelligence either. Like, again,
Yeah.
like this is a group of smart people, but they still have their own personalities. Um, and him about to give the ultimate sacrifice towards the end, I was like, no way is this guy's gonna do
Hmm.
this. Like, oh, he's such a good guy. Like, I think that's how I would describe it. He's such a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this version. Chris Evans is a fantastic actor, and I thought he did a great job. But I really like this version. They're just there was just a more warmth to it as opposed to just the kind of the cocky asshole
Yeah.
in the 2000s one.
Speaking of
Uh,
warmth, pun intended,
so,
um, I loved his interactions with Herbie.
oh yeah,
That he would fist bump Herbie. He would like pat his head, which I thought was really cute.
yeah. Um, and then Ben Grimm I thought was awesome also.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean he was just like I preferred him so much more to the older version because again these are all scientists, but in the older version, they kind of made Ben Grimm almost like the comedic relief, the dumb guy
yeah,
character. Um, but he's really smart. Um, he's really smart, and he's like he's funny without being like dumb.
yeah. He's not trying hard either. It just comes off so natural to
Yeah.
him. I think some of my favorite moments with him, one to comment on his intelligence too. Like he was the what do you call it, the pilot, right?
Yep.
Like he knew how the ship worked in and out. He knew how to handle like
Yeah.
going through the star. Like he just, hey Reed, tell me what to do, and I'll figure it out. Right? I think that was the good dynamic that they both shared. The dynamic he had with Johnny, where they're just kind of buddies. They're
Yeah.
messing around. They're joking with each other. Ben's all like, "Oh, you're gonna see your girlfriend up in space," like all that stuff. Like it was just nice. It was like good banter that really makes you buy that these guys have known each other forever. Again, my only issue was that he didn't really have many moments with Sue,
Right.
but yeah, I would have to agree with you. I love that there wasn't a comedic relief character with Ben. He was just this chill guy, and I really did appreciate that they didn't focus too much on like, oh, this is what you look like now. You know, like I think there was a scene where he's looking at the window on the TV screen and he sees himself before he became the thing, and yeah, you
Yeah.
see that pain in his eyes, but you also see that it's been 4 years since then. The people love you. The kids love you. Like he's accepted himself, and I'm
Hmm.
glad that that wasn't a plot point, but it was something that just that one scene kind of cemented.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Honestly, I think he's my favorite character in this
Yeah,
movie. Yeah. And he's the ideal man. He's smart. He's funny. And I know that every time he sees me, he's gonna be rock hard.
nice. I mean, in terms of my favorite of the main four, mine would have to be Reed.
He's
I just
great.
love everything he brought to the table. Majority of that has to be because of Pedro, but he just played such a good good Reed Richards.
Yeah. We haven't talked about the kind of the plot much and the antagonists being Galactus. Uh, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't love Galactus.
I liked Galactus when they introduced him. For one thing, what's his name? Ralph Fiennes?
Ralph Ineson.
Yeah, Ralph Ineson. When I saw that he got casted, I got pretty excited.
Yeah.
He has that gravitas, you know.
Yeah.
Like his voice is so commanding that just imagining that to the scale of Galactus. I mean, when they first met with him, he was this huge presence, and I love how they introduced him, where it was like kind of the eyes lit up, and then it
Yeah.
kind of fades into the frame, and it just felt like, oh crap, what are we gonna do about this guy?
Oh yeah.
Um, so and I thought, oh, this is gonna be pretty sick. But then as you start moving the plot along, moving past, I want to eat, I want your baby, and I'll spare your planet. to when you actually see him in the third act, he didn't feel like an antagonist. He felt more like an obstacle.
Yeah, I agree. It was he's kind of reduced to almost a big monster fight him. Uh,
Yeah,
like it
if I
could have
was
just
gonna,
been a kaiju, and it would have been the same thing.
yeah, like if I was gonna explain it in video game terms, he didn't feel like a boss.
Yeah,
He felt more like the quest I have to complete to get to the boss.
yeah. Um, and then yeah, Silver Surfer. I thought she was awesome.
I wanted more of her.
Yeah, that's my only
Um,
complaint with
you know what's
Silver Surfer.
you know what's funny? So Julie Gardner, right? She's
Yep.
been pretty big
Also in
this year.
weapons. Hmm.
Also in weapons. She was also in Wolfman earlier this year.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I honestly didn't recognize that it was her.
Oh, I mean,
I didn't know the actress's name before
yeah.
Weapons, and then when I saw the credits of Weapons and it said that was Julia Gardner, I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't she Silver Surfer also? But she was
Yeah.
amazing. Like they
You
actually
know,
gave
go ahead.
characterization to her.
You know what's even funnier is that in Weapons, the Josh Brolin character was originally Pedro Pascal. So we were close
Right,
to having Julia Garner and Pedro Pascal.
twice in the same
Yeah,
summer.
I think like 2 weeks apart too.
Right. No, that is funny, but yeah, I don't know much about the Silver Surfer movie from the 2000s, but I enjoyed her characterization so much. I think I enjoyed that she was a character because I've always pictured Silver Surfer as Galactus's messenger, like the
Yeah,
herald. Your time is up. But this one, the backstory they gave her. I mean, I don't know if that's accurate to the comics or not, but how
I have no
she,
idea if it is, but I liked it.
yeah, she's sacrificing herself to spare the planet.
Hmm.
I think it was, I think it was a great performance. I would say, aside from my only complaint with her being in it for as little as she was, the scene with the black hole or the dying
Yeah,
star, that
yeah,
sequence was really cool. And then the scene with her and Johnny, when he's kind of confronting her about everything, and then she kind of like dips. We don't really know what happens with her, and then
yeah,
to suddenly come back at the end, I was like, okay, like cool. What happened in between that? I guess.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought that scene where she's chasing them, where you said where they're going through the wormhole and the black hole and all that, which by the way, both of those shots look like it looked like they just took it out of Interstellar and then they just added the Fantastic Four to it. It didn't even feel like they remade the same shots. It looked
Every masterpiece
exactly
has
like
its
it.
cheap copy.
Yeah. Um, but I agree, and I love her backstory, and I did know that she was going to come back um, with after that whole scene with Johnny. I do kind of wish it was more than just that one push. I kind of wish she was actually involved in the Galactus fight.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would have been pretty good to see. But regardless, I still enjoyed her a lot.
yeah. Again, like you, my only issue is that they didn't use her enough.
Yeah,
Right.
but when they did use her, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And good thing we found out that the surfboard is not part of the body.
Oh, I like that running joke.
Yeah.
Usually the running gags kind of, especially in the MCU movies, they kind of get old very fast. But this one was actually it worked for me.
Yeah, same here. I mean, in terms of MCU as a whole, right? I mean, we talked a lot about the characters. We talked a little bit about the plot. But one of the things I appreciated the most about this movie is how disconnected it was from all of it,
Oh, I
right?
agree.
Like, I didn't have to worry about what's going on in the current phase. I didn't have to worry about other movies, other characters, other TV shows. I didn't have to think about any of that. They gave me a story which I would compare to something you would have gotten out of Phase 1 Marvel, you know?
Yeah,
Like, this really felt like not an origin story, but a fresh, new story that I'm kind of sad to see that it's going to be a part of the main universe soon.
yeah. I almost wish we could just get a sequel to this without any other interference. But I will say I'm invested in these characters. Oh, I do want to
Yeah.
shout out. Yeah, I do want to shout out the production design in this
Oh,
movie.
yes. The setting, the they did such a good job. Just making the setting look like this super retro, but
Yeah,
still futuristic, like
yeah,
landscape. Like that was so cool to see.
yeah. It felt like the 1950s meets the Jetsons.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's a very good point. It
yeah.
did feel a lot like the Jetsons.
And then it was just perfect. It's one of the things that's another thing that makes it stand out from other Marvel movies is I think visually, I actually really enjoyed what this movie looked like up until maybe the third act, the big fight. I was like, whatever. But
Yeah,
before that, I thought this movie looked great.
yeah, it was very visually appealing. Even the stuff with Subterranea, while silly, I bought it. Still worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
also
right.
did enjoy that line where once Reed kind of figured out like, oh, let's teleport the Earth somewhere else, which smartest man alive, but that's your plan? Okay, sure. Sounds like something out of a cartoon.
I know.
But there was a line where he was talking about the plan. Everyone has to come together, like conserve energy, gather resources, and it's like, wow, this is definitely reminding me that not every nation in the world is going to be on the same page during a global crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you know it's fiction because
Right.
all the countries actually work together.
Oh man, but that was funny.
Yeah. I do. The plan was also funny. It reminds me there was one of the Justice League animated movies. I can't remember which one, but there was a big meteor coming towards Earth. Now the meteor was made of kryptonite, so they couldn't just tell Superman, "Hey, go destroy it."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What if I just move the Earth out of the way?" And I think Batman just turns to him and is like, "Dude, if I had a year, I could like." I still couldn't list out all the reasons why that's a terrible idea.
There was a scene in like an older episode of SpongeBob where Patrick says we should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. And I saw this meme where Reed Richards was watching that episode and he's like, wait a minute, that might work. I think we can move on to the scores.
All right. All right, so it's time for our scores. And as a reminder, or if you're new, uh, the way we score things here is on the script cover scale. There is pass when we think a movie is not so good, consider when we think it's decent, and recommend when we think it's great. As a reminder, this is not an actual recommendation, it's just a score. With that said, how do you score Fantastic Four?
So, in the context of a superhero movie, I know people have been throwing around, the term superhero fatigue. I would still say this is a recommend. It's a good story with good characters. I would say the story is driven, or the movie itself is driven by the characters, right? Um,
Right.
I can guarantee that you're gonna love at least one character by the end of this movie.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. It's a recommend for me. Pretty solid recommend. I think the third act it is not the best, but I really liked kind of everything else about it. Visually, it stands out. The characters are awesome, and I had a great time, and I'm looking forward to seeing these characters again.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So clearly, you liked Fantastic Four. So what else would you recommend to our audience who may also like Fantastic Four? Or what else have you been watching?
Well, I mean, I know that this was the super fantastic summer, right?
Yeah.
So it's either people are like, "Oh, which one's better, Superman or Fantastic Four?" Both. Both are good. Don't compare them. All right. You don't need to compare both of them. You can have
Yeah.
two winners. I love Superman. I would definitely recommend it for people, 100%. I
Yeah.
think
Superman's great.
Gunn did a fantastic job with his interpretation of it. Um, we're getting good superhero movies again, man. Like that's super exciting as a nerd, as a comic fan. I'm so happy about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I really like Superman. We also did an episode about Superman. You weren't in it, but I was, and it's okay for Superman 2 or whatever that may be. You'll be
Yeah,
there.
the next one, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And um so yeah, so I recently I might have mentioned this before that I was watching The Pit. I actually just finished it.
Oh, nice.
Um and it's an awesome show. I usually don't like medical dramas. That's why I like stayed away from it for so long. But there's just something about this show. It just worked. It's kind of like House meets 24, where it's one day at the in the ER, and every episode is an hour, so it's like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and so on.
The whole
Um,
shift.
yeah, it's basically one whole shift, and so much that happens, so many awesome characters, and I really hope they make a season two, and I can't wait for it to come out.
Actually, something I recently watched with my girlfriend over her place. I think when I walked in, she was on episode 4, but it was called man, what was it called? The Hunting Wives, and
Oh
it's this
yeah,
show. Yeah, it was this show. It's based off a book, but it's a show based off these housewives in Texas, but like pretty powerful like group, right? I think one of the main like woman's husband is like running for. I want to say he's running for mayor. I didn't really get the context, but they're trying to solve this overall like mystery of a murder that happened. But there's also like some crazy stuff going on. Like one of them is hooking up with the son of the other woman. One of them, got a procedure that you can't really have in Texas. So
yeah.
we're like kind of going through like all of these things, and it was just weirdly entertaining, right? So I'd probably recommend that if you want to watch a show that you're gonna get invested in the kind of that like it's not melodramatic, but super like I don't want to say
Yeah.
trashy because it's not trashy at all, but that vibe of like those types of like dramas,
Mhm.
almost like soapy, I guess. I would recommend that.
All right. Before we go here, Carlos, thanks again for being here. Is there
Yeah,
anything
thanks
you
for
want to
having me.
plug?
Yeah, I do actually. Go follow my girlfriend Sabrina at her Instagram. She makes rave hoods and rave accessories. Her Instagram is electro.pause with a Z at the end.
All right. Awesome. All right. With that said, that's the end of our episode, or that's the end of this episode of Pages of Pixels. I'm Rohan. This is our
Um,
special guest, Carlos. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm Carlos. It was great being here. I hope I can be here more.
Yeah, dude. You were awesome. Thanks for being on,
Thank
and
you.
thank you everyone for listening or watching. And we'll see you next week. Thank you.